Today we're going to talk about texture. Texture is broken into two specific definitions. We have actual texture and implied texture. Actual texture is how something really feels, something that's real. It's an actual object. So we're going to write the actual texture of something, or the real texture of something. Implied texture means that it's suggested. So like in a drawing doesn't actually feel like the object you're drawing. You would feel only the paper. So implied texture suggests the texture of an object. Once you get both your definitions, the rest of the time for you is to draw your 6 examples of different types of texture. There are a lot more different types of texture. This is just us getting started so that we can begin exercising our ability to communicate texture to the viewer through drawing. First, we're going to start with smooth. For smooth texture, I'm going to simply draw a cylinder, and it's actually going to be a glass, like a glass that you would drink with water. So I start with an oval. And then I'm making almost like a cylinder or a cone shape, and then I'm adding another oval. And then I actually add this little rectangle and square, and that is going to actually act as a glare from light. So that's going to make our glass look shiny and smooth. Next, I have rough. First, let's start with a wavy line. Then, you're going to do a parallel wavy line exactly the same as this, a little bit up and to the left, like me. You're left with 2 parallel wavy lines. We're going to connect them with parallel diagonal lines. Then we're going to layer the top with a bunch of spikes. Maybe they look like the letter A, so just up and down. These don't have to go in a specific pattern. These will actually come off the edge though, because that will begin to give our shape and form some depth and space. It almost looks like a rug, if you ask me. Okay. After rough, we're going to move to hard. The next lines that I draw are going to be in light gray because I want you to draw as lightly as you can with your pencil. These lines are lines that you don't really want to see. I'm just going to make a few parallel lines going from left to right. These lines that are going to be in black are the lines that you want to draw and make sure that you can see them. I'm using those gray lines to help me. I'm drawing a bunch of parallel rectangles that are close together. those lines that I drew in gray are helping me keep everything the same size. The next row is actually going to be in the center. I'm going to leave a little bit of space. Still using those gray lines to help me. And what you notice is I'm actually drawing a brick pattern, like a brick wall on a building. Okay. Next, we're going to do soft. Soft is going to be quick. Soft is kind of like our first anchor chart on shape and form. We're going to make a cloud. To make it look as soft as possible, we can go quick. If you go quick, your lines will feel more natural and puffy. Maybe we can add some overlapping to give this space and depth. Our next one is going to be the toughest one. This one is woven. This is like a basket where you're going to see a lot of pieces going over and under each other. I'm going to start by using a very light gray again. The light gray, the lines I'm about to draw, for you, need to be drawn as lightly as possible. These are lines that you don't want to see. I'm starting by drawing horizontal parallel lines, just like we did with the bricks. I'm going to come back in a second time and I'm going to draw vertical parallel lines. These are going to help me trace my woven pattern. Now I'm going to switch to my black. And this is the mark that I want to see. These are the marks that you're not going to erase. I want you to go super slow with this part so you don't get lost. I'm going to start by drawing these two lines. So I drew one string that's now going underneath another. Then I'm going to start going to the side because this string now needs to go under another. And you start to see how these lines are going over and under each other with the help of overlapping, like we learned yesterday. And if you can, come back in and try to get rid of those lines that you left earlier so that they're easy to erase. And if you really want to go above and beyond, you can add some lines to show some shading where it goes under. These lines show that the top layer is casting a shadow down on the bottom layer. And then you can really start to see how things are overlapping. Okay. Last but not least, we have bumpy and lumpy. These are just going to be like kind of jagged rock shapes. So these can be done kind of quick. And you'll notice I'm going to start using my overlapping to help build some space and depth. I'm even going to start making them smaller to show that linear perspective. And again, maybe I want to go in and add some shading with just a few lines. And that's it. Work on this for the rest of class. If you get this done, then instead of free drawing, I would like you to make sure you go back and finish any previous anchor charts that are unfinished or any previous classwork that is unfinished. If all of your work is caught up, then you can go onto free draw, or you can go online your Chromebook and go onto sketch.io. If you have any questions, raise your hand and we'll figure it out together.